My dad used to work in Nairobi. My mom used to work in Eldoret. And over the holidays, we'll come and see Mzee. Mzee was one of your founding members here. And so, ideally, for the last 5 years, could be like 4 or 5, I stopped taking TV interviews or speaking about what I do. So interestingly, today is what date? 28? 27th. So 13 days ago I turned 30. And so when I was turning 30, I think one of the key things that came was there are talents that God gave me that I don't use anymore, and one of them was speaking. And so I vowed to God that I'll now accept requests that come to speak. Many people approach me, oh, tell us about this. I tell them, no, I don't want to talk about it. And so, interestingly, my birthday was on a Sunday, and I was just writing some few things down. And then on Monday, less than 24 hours, I'm asked to come and speak to Zimmerman. I was like, God, why are things very, it's barely 24 hours. Okay, and so it was quite sentimental because we'll come and see Mzee here. He used to work for a milk company. He was an accountant. So we used to come. I don't remember anything. We were in a very tender age. If you guys are 25 years old and I'm 30, so I was 5 years old. I don't think there's anything you can remember at 5 years old, apart from 1 or 2 mundane things that happened in your life. And so I'm humbled to be here. I hope that Christ will be lifted and all men will be drawn to him and not me. And so, how much time do I have? Usually speakers ask me. Now today I'm the one asking back. What's very interesting is that I thank God for my dad. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was in primary school. And he says avoid debt. And so I avoided debt. When it got to university, I opted for a parallel program at the University of Nairobi. I did Bachelor of Commerce in Marketing. And I didn't go the government way, not because my parents are wealthy, they are not. Because I wanted to finish school real quick. I think at some point, Dad couldn't be able to raise school fees. I think in 3rd year, I decided to go all out. That's what I'm saying. My appetite for doing things is very heavy. So noticing that I couldn't finish university, because I was meant to do we do 6 subjects, 6 per semester. So Dad tells me, take 2, I can only afford 2, or you can also stay home a bit. I remember very well, it was the start of a new year. And I vowed on that table that I'm going to finish school in record time as I had purposed. I came to the University of Nairobi. I don't want to get into it, it's a whole long story. Let me just brief it. I became the chair of the Marketing Students Association. And I used that office to make money. So I knocked on doors of all the big brands that are in this country. Some chased me away, some accepted me. If you remember, there was a time there was something called Blaze by Safaricom. I was in university at that time. We were trying to simplify Blaze to make it big. And I was able to make money from Blaze. So, as I'm telling you, my appetite is very high. So I'll sit with Safaricom, I tell them, okay, fine, I can do you branding at University of Nairobi. So I'll come and sit with the lecturers at University of Nairobi and tell them, you know what, I want to make this university so beautiful. Get street poles. For me, I'm looking at how Safaricom and Coke can spend so that I have money in the association account so that I can pay my fee. I remember there are days, so Safaricom was doing Blaze across the stadiums, and I was helping them fill Nyayo Stadium at that time. So I went all around all the University of Nairobis, and gave them, and it's good to have relationships. That's what I'm saying, my appetite is very high, it's different. And so doing all that, they used to give me 100K of airtime. I used to give students 5K, I go to town, sell it to Somalis, have 95K in my pocket, go to Barclays Bank before ABSA came, I'll pay my fee. because I was determined to finish university. So I'm saying how I see money is quite different. And so when it came to debt, the context was debt. So I told Dad, you refused me to not take student debt, and that's why I didn't go for a job. And so I had to find ways to pay my own fee until I finished university. And thank God I did finish at the time I had estimated. And so I've never taken debt in my life. The only debt I've taken is capital debt to build my business and paid back the people I borrowed money from. And I also don't borrow from the bank because the bank will tell you 17%. By the time you're done paying that loan, it's about 30% or 25%. So I thank God I'm of a great character, so it's easy to ask money, to crowdfund, and people can bank on me. It's good to live a steward life, to be someone who people can trust. And so usually when I need to raise capital, I call a few friends, we sit together, I tell them this is why I need to raise this money, I'll pay you at this time, this and these are the reasons why I'm investing in this. And I can tell you, God in his wisdom just provides. And so I also don't take, you can take. I'm not stopping you from going to your SACCO or to your bank. But for me, again, my thoughts of all this is quite different. And so when it comes to, I think I've tackled investments. I would like to say this. Within our age, it's good to be very honest with each other. Well, you'll hear guys who make money out of land. I don't deny it. There are those guys who go and buy properties, especially apartments. I think you guys heard about Didi Nyoro. He spoke some time back, and he went a bit viral. It's the same context. You buy an apartment on mortgage. You take 15, 20 years paying it back, surely. I mean, come on. What's the rate of return of that out of all those years? 7%. I mean, surely, you know? But you know what? That's what I'm telling you. The information about money and investment is just like education. The real information is not given to you. But the information that is given to you is run by the Fortune 500 companies, all the banks, all the investment funds. The information they give you about money is so that you put money in them. So they take money offshore and make much more money and bring it back to you with your 12, 13%. I'll be very honest with you. Real money is built differently. How I see it being done is the way I always ask God, when will Adventists gather together? The way I see Somalis at Westgate, the way I see Asians at Lavington, they just sit together one morning and they're talking deals, man. I'm always sick about that. If so God be I would like to form a club of Adventists one day who come together and build a bank, who come together and build industries. I am so tired to see Somalis and Asians come together, risk money on each other. But hey, come on, Christians, we are Adventists. That's what I'm telling you. My ideas will not be what you want to hear. I'll just tell you, could we just be the most honest people who could work together? That's how I see things. And I want, by God's grace, if it His will is be so, I want to be part of the frontiers of Adventist business people who came together and build wealth. I'm not there yet, but I'm still dreaming, and I believe it's possible because I see it. And so what these people do is different, you know. They come together, sit. You see, the thing is you will go for your loan for 27%, put 17%. The bank will give you. These guys come and sit together. They get loans from each other, sometimes at need because they trust each other. The thing is this, you by the time you're paying your 20%, that's your whole margin in any business or anything you're doing. This guy is paying less, so he has more liquidity to do more things and take more risk and build more things. And so I'm saying, for me, my perspective about investments is that one day we honest people who live by the word, who live by the book, will live truly so, as Ellen White says, you know, those faithful men, few men like Joseph and Daniel. If we could live like that, we could build things together. So that's something I see all these things differently because of what I've been able to see and learn. And the other thing is that about money as much as possible, hold more cash. You can hold it in various elements that can easily be liquidated because sometimes opportunities come at a time you like to dispense much more faster. And the other thing is this, and I say this to close on money, debt, and all this. I believe in two things: God and competence. God builds everything. God builds faith, trust, character, and all that. Then be so competent that you're so good that you are irresistible in someone's conversation. For example, I came to the soapstone industry 3 years ago. I don't come from a family that was in the business. And I remember I did one thing. I say just God and competence is because I remember the 10 days of prayer of 2023. I was moving into this new industry. I'd taken a space in Karen. I'd paid, had a contractual agreement with the landlord of that time. I took that contract and brought it to a prayer box. I don't know where yours is. I brought it to a prayer box and I told God, if I perish, I perish. And I placed that as my prayer request. And today you can't talk about soapstone without talking about MOGUSU. You know, not because it's me, but because I've just known two things: have everything with God right, and have competence. Competence is just pure hard work that refuses to give up. I remember I was going to see. I've refused to give up. There's an opportunity I'm fighting for. And I was given a short meeting with this very senior chairman of the board of this organization. And in my introduction, I just told him, after everything, I've refused to give up. Even if you deny me, I've refused to give up. Because God has his place, but man has his place to deliver. Man has his place to just love, to work hard. And so that builds my conversation for today. Execution is the variable. And your people are very kind to say ideas are cheap, execution wins. That's true. Ideas are cheap and executions win. The reason why I came up with this is because being finished university 2017 December, my road has not been easy. I chose the hard path, which is very unrewarding in Africa. Until at some point, I think guys used to tell me, if you move to Silicon Valley, bro, you will make it. And so I finished university and went straight into business. I never got employed. The problem about that is that my friends who went into corporate America or the big multinationals, they enjoyed trainings that I couldn't because I was starting small. And I used to say no to big jobs because I really believed in building a business. So I remember my lecturers would always call me, hey, GlaxoSmithKline, the guys who do Panadol, Imperial Leather, reached out. I remember, I got a couple of corporate work to do to start my graduate trainee, and I used to say no because I really wanted to be in business. I was prepared to suffer. I was prepared to suffer, and to suffer to build. And I've had a proper share of wilderness. It's called wilderness experience, the one Moses had, and the one David had. And so the beauty about that is that it builds and cements character. And the beauty about that, it gives you so thick skin that you can face anything. Today I can face anything, and nothing will shake me because two things I have: God and maybe experience as well. And so this is what I wanted us to talk about. Execution is the variable. It's everything, is because I see guys who are in corporate who are hiring. And still today, people still call me, MOGUSU, could you not just... I remember when I used to run a marketing agency after uni, I stopped running it. It's not maybe a conversation for today. My clients will ask me, can you just be my immediate? If he's the head of marketing, can you just be my immediate head of marketing, It's because the thing is this, and my friends, I just want, if you live here today, if nothing I will say, it's just let's live by the word of God, by the things that the word of God says. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. And so I've been asked to go back to employment, and I always say no, because I'm known to get things done. If you listen to some thoughts by former president of the US, Barack Obama, he'll say he's traveled the world. He's gone into big meetings, okay? And he says some people just have offices because they do, but most of them don't have it up here. I'd also like to suggest to you, yesterday I was sitting with a friend of mine, and he's an engineer, so Hotpoint wants to hire a new CEO, and they were consulting him because they want to focus on home appliances because of the many apartments that are coming up in Nairobi. Because every apartment definitely needs, fridge, washing machine, microwave, water heater, dispenser. And so it's a big opportunity for them. And so they're asking him to find someone to take up that job. What I have learned being around all this environment is one, the jobs are there. No one should tell you jobs are not there. But there is lack of people who can get things done. Let me take it back to the US. Starbucks fired their CEO because he came from McKinsey. Okay, McKinsey is a consulting firm. They gave him the job to be the CEO of Starbucks. Starbucks is the biggest retailer in terms of coffee across the world. There are about 38,000 stores across the world, if my memory serves me right. But if it's wrong, I'm sorry. I never want to say lies on the pulpit. They fired this guy because in 8 months, the valuation of Starbucks had lost by 40 billion. And they went and picked a CEO from Chipotle, which is a restaurant company as well in the US. And within one night, at the call of this guy being the MD of Starbucks, like stocks rose by 74 billion just by him being announced as the CEO. What am I trying to say? Opportunity is there, but few people execute at the highest level. Okay? So I'd like us to see two contexts. I'd like us to look at Nehemiah as the executor in the Bible, and also look at ourselves, how we can execute. My life has been built around execution. That's why I told you I have always said no to speaking, because I wanted to execute fast. Execute so well that, that people know you as someone who can get things done. And so, friends, opportunities are there in the world, but few there be who can get things done. And it's a rare skill. Let's be very honest. Where you work, because I can tell some of you are working right now. How many strategy books are there? They're in piles in your organization. How many communication things are there? They're in piles in your organization. How many reports are there? They're in piles of it. But who get things done? Very few people. The other day, one of our silent church members approached me and told me, MOGUSU, this church of ours, I can tell very few people are the guys who run the church. And I'll be very true. And so God has blessed me to lead the men's mentorship program right now at Lavington. And so I'm leading men who work at the UN, the UNEP, and all this big organization. And my church leadership has been brought out of, I serve God, I don't serve man. I'm sorry to those guys who are always my pastor, my elder, I'm not that guy. I don't say my pastor, my elder, there's another elder I laugh at when he does this to the pastor. I'm like, what are you doing? It's okay, you can do that. But I don't serve man, I serve God. I say two things, for the glory of God and for the blessing of humanity. And what I have seen serving in church is that it's few of us at the top who get things done at Lavington. You'll come to Lavington, you'll see a beautiful church, you'll see everything running. You'll ask someone, have you been to Lavington? Yeah, great programs. It's the church you'll come and sit and things are done. Yes, it's few people, very few people who sit to make things work. But 99% of the members are just, coming to attend and all that. And I have learned one thing. These few people who get church work done at the highest level are extremely busy people. And let's flip it back. Jesus, when he went to look for disciples, he got the most busy ones. He didn't get the lazy ones. And that's why sometimes I I get at loggerheads with people who do God's work in a mediocre way. I don't like it because Christ himself was never that. The other day when we were having our men's breakfast, so we invited these guys from Zambia. This choir is very phenomenal. In this choir of men, the minimum qualification in that choir is called Breath of Truth. He's a university lecturer from Zambia. One of the youth asked a question. Is it that you guys are a class who you've taken yourself out of everyone else, that you form your own choir because you're all doing well? Because they have a high court judge there. They have the country director of Vivo is Shell, in that choir of them. And the chair of the choir said one thing: give a busy man something to do, he'll get it done. And so that's what I'm telling you guys, is the guys who get things done, that God blesses them more, because out of them getting things done, he'll use them for his glory. And so many of these blessings, and I like how one argument that says, all this is both historical and spiritual. The guys who get things done are blessed more because God needs to use them, whether they're heathen, whether they are pagans. It's historical as well as spiritual, because they bring much more back to society. So I wanted us to see execution as the only means of moving things forward. So my friends, ideas are everywhere. We can talk, we can raise ideas here, but it's the guys who move and get things done. And so we look at Nehemiah. One thing I like about Nehemiah is that he hears about the Jerusalem's broken walls. He just didn't mourn. What did he do? He prayed. After praying, what did he do? He set a plan and he petitioned. And the thing is this, sometimes I call it holy courage. I call it holy courage because we and the guys in the world are not the same. There is courage you can have that human beings submit to it. Not because you're phenomenal or you're good, but there's a presence of the angels with you that man cannot see. The presence of the Holy Spirit is so with you that your courage is so, people just are drawn to it. And I feel that was what happened to Nehemiah. He fasted and prayed. And my friends, I urge you, fast as much as possible you can. It's very good. One thing it does is that, okay, I didn't want to go there, but please don't go and fast emotionally. When you go fast, step back. Leave everything you want and tell God, I've come to fast because I want your will to be done. And God's will is more superior than ours. Actually, I thank God because sometimes the things he does for me, usually, guys, has God ever blessed you until you're about to cry? Until your eyes just become watery, I hope you have that experience with God. I can tell you for sure, God is my everything. I can't stress that much more. All I'll say with you are things I've learned, but it doesn't take the place of what God has been able to work with me. And so Nehemiah begins with execution. He prays, he plans, he petitions the king. Like, let me tell you guys, I always say this. After you've left your knee in the morning and you rise up, I move like the king. Like, I don't know. I just move like I have everything. Once I have asked God for his presence, his power, and his authority, I go. And God does things. So when you've done praying, please don't be timid. Please don't. Harness every courage in you, especially if you're facing your boss at work or you're going for an interview. Summon every courage in your being because God gives you all the power. But it depends on you to use it. So I ask of you, as long as you have done praying like Nehemiah did, face off. Stand like the brave. And face what you have to face with respect and humility and love. Just do it. And so we'll look at 5 principles that I found important. And I decided to draw this because we're in church and I do want to give you a lot of secular principles. What I have found interesting about execution is first, start with prayer. Let prayer not be your last. And by the way, as much as possible, if God grants you a place, you can work. Let people know who you are. Don't deny them the blessing of knowing you're an Adventist. Let me just share this. It's come 3-4 times, but let me share it now. I feel that the Holy Spirit is speaking. The things I haven't done right. And I always tell God, I'm very sorry I didn't do them right. So he mentioned we're expanding into a soapstone museum at Sarit. The owner of Sarit is Asian. Definitely doesn't believe in God. He believes in their gods. And it's interesting that Pastor Papu did our 10 days of prayer when I was starting this business in 2023. I was doing our CAP meeting I think a month ago or 2. And he asked me, young man, we prayed for your business 3 years ago. How is it going? I told him it's really going well. We're actually expanding. I'm on my final negotiation meeting with the owners of Sarit. And this new space, I want it to keep the Sabbath. So I'm telling you, I've made mistakes before. My earlier contract with them, I forgot to talk about the Sabbath early. By the time we were in the end of negotiation, it was over. And so, in this new space, God has blessed me. He's given me favor in the eyes of those Asian men. I've done nothing to earn it. No networks, no nothing. It's just God. And I was going for my meeting the following day. And so Pastor Papu asks me young man, we prayed for your business. So I told him, actually, I'm going for a meeting. And the final thing is to negotiate about the Sabbath. Because what big malls do, they're trying to go into 24 hours. And because they're obsessed about footfall. Footfall is the number of people who come to the mall every day. Because the number of people is a variable of the retailers, how they make money. And I needed to ask him that this new space we want to put up, the Soapstone Museum, should close on Saturday. And Pastor Papu just told him, you know what? Go and tell him about the blessing that come with the Sabbath. And I prayed that day. That day, I think the last dinner, I didn't eat from the last dinner that day. So our meeting was it 3 p.m.? So I went to Sarit, went to his office. Also build relationships. One thing I dislike about Adventists, we are so God over there, and we have poor relationships with people. One thing that impresses him over me is that everyone in his office are my friends. From the PA to the head of finance, everyone. He turns around, he says, because when I walk with him, everyone is saying hi to me. Please, keep relationships. I dislike these Adventists who are so God, but living with humanity, you fail completely. I don't believe that is godly. Christ was love, and he lived in love with humanity. And so I stepped in, and we had our meeting. And I wasn't afraid to tell him that with this new venture, I know he intends that actually Saturday is the highest full footfall at Sarit. Normally, we do about between 22 to 27,000 a day of people coming into the mall. On Saturdays, it does about 35,000 a number of people who walk into the mall, because it's a variable. If you have more people walking to the mall, more retailers are able to sell, and the mall tends to be more successful. And I remember he picked up his glasses and put them here and told MOGUSU, you know what, we'll close on Saturday. And so guys, when you're done praying, go in courage. When you need to defend the Sabbath, go in courage. That courage is not you, because self has died and Christ is risen in you. And go in courage. And so that's I see in Nehemiah. And so Nehemiah sees the ruins. He didn't mourn. He stood up. He moved. So friends, hope without hustle is empty. Don't talk about hope here in church, and you don't do anything. Whatever department you are in is just hope. Too much talk. I don't believe in too much talk, So number one, clear vision, bold action. So if you're taking notes, just number one, clear vision, bold action. The thing is this, the people you like listening to who've made it both in corporate and in business, all of them have bold action. Show me none. If they didn't have bold action in terms of speaking, not everyone can speak like we do, but they have bold action in getting things done. All right? And so number two is strategy plus partnership or delegation, depends what you're doing. If you're in business, strategy plus delegation, having the right people, having the right teams. But because your elder mentioned to me that most of you are, working, I say strategy plus, I'll bring it, partner with people. I also say this, partner with God. I have always admired to ever live like a Joseph. And the Lord was with MOGUSU. And everything he did, the Lord made it prosper. I would like that to be you. Because for me, I usually say it's, and the Lord was with Joseph, and all he did, the Lord made it prosper. So for me, I'll say strategy, after putting up a strategy and plans, go with God. Like me, my partner is God. So my partner number one is God. So I have a lot of conversations with God more than I have conversations with human beings. Because for me, he's my everything. I'm not married, most of my friends are married, so I don't have someone I can bounce back things. So for me, every evening when I get home, I take a walk, no phone, no gadget, and I spend time with God, and it's a beautiful experience. And so, partner with God, my friends. Look at what that did. He partnered with people, Nehemiah, and he broke the project into sections and empowered families to come and work with him. And the thing is this, he mobilized everything and everyone into his plans. So number one, clear vision, bold action. Number two, strategy and delegation or partnership. For those guys who are in corporate, I'll ask of you of this. Be so significant that people have to notice your work, by the way. I know some of you are introverts. You're not extroverted like I am. People can still know your work. Where there's an important meeting, ask God, I want to give a very important solution to this meeting. And so inspire me. Let everyone who sits in your office find something profound about you. And so you could debate that I'm quiet, I'm good on emails, it's fine. Do the best emails that if someone reads it, they're like, wow, this is great, we would like to be this person or something. Let people know your work. Don't be the silent people at the back, because yes, you can tell me, yes, there's politics and all that. Yes, there is. Even me, as a retailer, I face opposition. Getting this new space that we're getting at the mall, some white people went to tell the owners of the mall, no, why are you giving this guy a new space? So opposition will be there. Face it head on. Don't be afraid. Just go and make partnerships. And partnerships are relationships. Let me repeat again, just live according to the word of God, out of which springs love and joy and peace. I desire every day when I sleep, I'm at peace with every human being. Yes, it's not like everything is fine. Conflict will arise. You will have issues with other people. But above all, live at peace with everyone. And so, number 3 is persistence amid opposition. I was sharing earlier with you, I just refuse to give up. I just refuse to give up with my work with God. I just refuse to give up at my business. At Lavington SDA Church, I have a couple of roles. One, I'm in charge of school ministry. I'm the youth leader as well. And right now I lead the men's program and the youth, or all the mentorship program, both the ladies and the men's. A chaplaincy program where I work with the schools. We have about 4 high schools. Today I was at Nova because I knew I'll be coming here in the evening, so I went to Nova. Nova is in Tattoo City. And every start of the term, or so often, I deliberately go and meet the principals of this school. We don't share the same faith. That's what I'm telling you. As much as we love God and all this, let's live with other people that they may be glorified by what we do with God. And I serve at that department. I think my friend was here before, Elder Rogito. We serve together in that department. And we go with him and meet these principals. I'm just using this as an example to number 3, persistence amid oppositions or against all odds. The principle of Lavington Girls was changed. And so our church enjoyed a great relationship with the principal who was there before. And this new one has come, and she's very Pentecostal. And she's frustrating everything about the Adventist church. And after I told, she was frustrating, so it was back and forth. So we sent speakers on Sabbath to the school. They are chased away that, you can't access the school. What have we done wrong? And, it's neither here nor there. The excuses don't have weight. So I remember what we did with So because it's close to our church, we had a family fun day. So I thank God I was leading that committee at that time. So we put the event at Lavington Secondary so that we could also pay them. Because you see, we come and hire your grounds, we also pay you, so you have more revenue as a school. So I think after some few months, because it was still lightweight at that time, it got a bit messy and murkier earlier this year. And so I went, you see the way the 4 wise men did when Jesus was born? I just went to my business. Good thing we do gifts in Soapstone, got a couple of them, put them in nice bags, and went to our office. But I prayed first. I think I did fast for some time for the mission field. Because for me, I see God's children not getting a speaker every Sabbath, and for me, that's not really good. And I knew I'm up against the devil, so be it. It's true, because the devil is frustrating the worship of the Adventists in that school. And she did want to set up a meeting. She didn't want to. And I showed up. I remember I told Elder Rogito, on this day and this time we are going. So the first time we went to Rogito, she said, okay, it's fine. The girls will worship. We set a schedule and all that. I think a few months down the line, she also brings some issues. All the Adventists. I was like, come on, okay, fine. After praying, I said, okay, fine. I told the church leadership, you know what? On this day, Pastor, Elder X and X, I want you to join me. We're going to see this principle. And right now, like, we have no issues with the school. All our girls worship every Sabbath, full day. What I'm trying to say is, yes, we have the place of prayer, but we have the place to show up and persistently do that against all odds. I decided to use this. I didn't want to use my experience at my business, but I wanted to use this because this is very relatable, because we share one faith and one belief. And so, as I'm saying, friends, execution is the variable, because the sense of persistence we had, she was weighed down by it. The sense of commitment we had, we'll sit in our office and refuse to leave because we want the Adventists. And we don't do that because we are bullish and because we have the law. Please get me right. Because I feel sometimes we push the law above. I remember the principal had built some bad relationship with some Adventist teachers. And we took the teachers aside and told them, you know what? In the face of opposition, choose love. Don't choose the law. Because the law will break you. You'll end up in court. You'll end up where? Tell her, you know what? To the Adventist teachers, choose love above the law. So in the face of opposition, go fearlessly, but go with God. But the thing is this, lead with love. Please, lead with love. Whatever conflict you have in your life, whether it's at work, at family, lead with love. It's hard, but it's the high road, and it pays off. And so, I remember Sanballat and Tobiah, I think in Nehemiah 6, come and question and, give all the bad comments to Nehemiah. And I like Nehemiah 6 verse 3. He says, I'm doing a great work. I am not coming down. And so, execution means staying the course despite the distraction. So my friends, stay the course. Whether it's at work, whether it's here in church, stay the course. Stay and believe in the course. And finally, finish what you start. Whatever project you have at work, whatever project you have at family, be known as a doer. And one thing I like about the Bible, it answers itself always. Be doers of the word. Okay? So just be doer. Finish what you started. It's hard, but finish what you started. Just starting strong is not enough, but just finish well. And it's hard sometimes to reconcile with some people who've chosen to be your enemy. But choose reconciliation. Today was fasting. No, today was Holy Communion. There's an elder. We had loggerheads together. Not because of anything I've done wrong to him, but we have different perspectives of how we view leadership. I am a people-driven leadership. I like working with people so that we have results. He's an elder who wants results. It doesn't matter if he steps on other people, and I don't believe in that. And so we've done some projects together in church, and I've had to cut him off because people first. People must be loved and cared about to achieve the goals we want to achieve. And for him, that's not important. One elder had to ask me yesterday for lunch, and we met, and I shared my point of view, where I'm coming from, and humbly said where he's coming from. He didn't show up for our meeting because we were meant to reconcile yesterday. And it's okay. You have your place to be available to reconciliation. And he didn't show up, and it's okay. And today I sent him a message. I said, because the beauty about the Holy Communion is that we look at the cross. And the cross is one with God and one with humanity. And I just sent him a message, telling him, you know what, man, I forgive you. You know, our relationship has been strained by the projects we work together in church, but I forgive you. Whether he responds or not is not my responsibility. I did it because I honor God, and before I did the Holy Communion, I wanted to be at peace with humanity and to be one with God. So finish well what you start. You'll have opposition, you'll have enemies, and it's okay. All right? Somewhere in the Bible it says that towards the end of times, people will hate people because of something. I don't have that. I'm not the best in terms of getting some verses out of my head. It's not a strength God gave me, but I'm working on it. So the world remembers finishers. Even here, we'll remember the finishers. We'll not remember those who talk too much. And by the way, be very wary. Guys who talk too much actually do less. Majority of them. Okay? Just watch them out, even at work. The big talkers usually don't get things done. And that's why you find most of the time the reason why the heads of marketing don't become the CEO and the heads of finance become the CEO, because these guys talk less but deliver more. Okay? So, because I'm a marketer, so I've been trying to understand why most marketing don't become CEO and most CFOs become. Because the other guy focuses on sustainability and getting work done compared to the guy who talks a lot, and barely, okay, they do get things done, but there's a difference. It's just because that one executes at a higher skill than the other. So one thing I like about Joseph executed Pharaoh's dream. And what happened? A famine-proof economy. Joshua, guy I love in the Bible, executed Moses' vision. He led Israel into Canaan. And finally, I like Paul. He executed the Great Commission through tireless missions. So as much as we look at execution from a corporate point of view and a job point of view, I would like us to look more in the Bible. For me, the last of all the things we'll share today, remember in the Bible, Joseph did it. He was an employee of, and that's the greatest example of an employee by this Joseph. And I can say also Daniel as well. Joshua was just the guy who just onwards we go. We're not turning back. And he led Israel into Canaan. And Paul did the great thing, executed the Great Commission. To him, it was not speech. It was not just Matthew 28, and the Great Commission, Jesus said it. All these people had one thing. They had faith. And not just faith that wished, but faith that went out to work. So my friends, execution is a variable. I'd like to finish by saying Nehemiah didn't just dream of walls. The dude just built the walls. Joseph didn't interpret dreams. He saved nations. And Joshua didn't inherit promises. He possessed the land. Paul didn't just preach faith. He planted the churches. So if we have examples of executors in the Bible, we have them. Paul just went out and did it. Planted churches. And you, my friends, what will you do? What will you build and finish for the glory of God? All of you looking at me, but I want you to think about that. I don't know whether this will be acceptable here. But could it be that do we have pens and paper? Or that's left for Pathfinders? Do you have a pen and paper? Do you have a pen and a paper somewhere? If you do, it will be great. Let me tell you one thing. Being a youth leader is very difficult. If the people who really support the youth ministry in church are usually the guys between 25 to 29. The guys above 30, getting them to do things is so hard. And I don't, and this is out of experience. I'll not be surprised if it's the same here. But I'll be very glad if some of you say it, but I'll also appreciate if we could just write just one thing. I don't want to ask for a lot. I'd just like us to spend some time. What do you want to do? What do you want to build and execute for God's glory? And my friends, I'm not saying you talk about God's work, getting people baptized is great, okay? All right? I'm not saying that. Just your personal life, like what do you want to do? And you want to get it done for God's glory. God's glory can be your personal life, because I'll be very honest with you. What did Maraga do to the Adventist church? Okay? He stood on the foundations of the Bible because of his work. So God's glory is also in your work, because sometimes we get too religious, and so what's this one thing you want to do? You can write many, but I just want you to what's this thing you want to do, and you want to execute it so well for God's glory. Because your work is a testimony to other people. May your light so shine among men that they may glorify your Father in heaven, Because I can't tell you to go into groups because those dreams are private. I would have loved you to go into to many groups around here. But those things are private, But I would like you to tell us. Definitely, let me tell you one thing. Any place you appear before people, the people who will definitely hate you. And I know in this crowd, there are guys who just hate me. They don't like me. And it's okay. It's humanity. That's how we live. Okay? So I know there are already the guys who don't like me here. And it's fine. Okay? And I have no offense to it. It's how human beings live. And that's okay. But to those who have appreciated our conversation today, I'd like you just to, just write what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to build or take up for God's glory? Because for me, let me tell you my game changer. I used to have, let me tell you guys, let me give you a story. My dad did something interesting. When I was growing up, and I thank God for that, he gave me all these self-development books. I read them early in life, by the way. And yes, they give you a drive. But my life was ordinary until I decided to do things for God's glory. I can say this, I have not said it anywhere. I deal with soapstone from Tabaka. The reason why we're opening the museum is for one thing. Yes, to transform the lives of the sculptors in Tabaka for God's glory. I pay my people in Tabaka every Friday so that they can take tithe on Sabbath to where they worship. I thank God many of them are elders and are active in their local church. I like working with the Adventists there because I want to power the gospel there. Just the way Asians like working with Asians. Because I want to use my skills so hard in Nairobi to build opportunities for them that we can build together the gospel over there. And so at it, I'll have to work hard and make money. Thank God we do. And humbly so. But there's something more. Nehemiah had something worth dying for, and he was willing to die for it. Christ died for us. I don't know what is it that you want to die for. Okay? I have been observing my life. I find it in two ways. I love serving God. And by the way, it's very interesting. Some people ask me, what's your hobby? Guys, my hobbies are very interesting. My hobby is just doing God's work. Let me give you an example. So, on Friday evening, we'll have a youth Vespers online. We'll wake up in the morning on Saturday and pray with my youths as well, between 5:45 to 6:15 or 6:20. After that, I will go to Sabbath school. After that, if it's divine, then we'll have a youth corner. So we have youth corner every Sabbath, apart from fasting Sabbath, which is the first Sabbath of the month. So every 3 Sabbaths we have a youth corner. So we also invite speakers like the way you invite speakers here. After that, evening, today at 8 p.m. I have a mentors consultation because we have a mentorship program for men and ladies as well. So we meet with mentors at 8 p.m. to discuss about the following day. The following day, I wake up at 4 as well, prepare, go to church by 5:30, 6 a.m. we start our mentorship program. Mentorship ends at 9, Sometimes after that, there's a board and so you get, for me, I thoroughly love doing God's work. It's my hobby. It makes me happy, so, I don't have, my social life is doing God's work. I'll be very happy on Sabbath afternoon going to see a sick patient in church or going to see a bereaved family. I love the joy of fellowship. It adds most to me. So, I don't know about you, but I would like us to keep writing, what's this one thing you really want, to do it with God. To do with God. God just does incredible things. So, you can take your time. You can reflect about it. I wouldn't want us to, until we have, I'm not asking you to do this because of anything, but to those who are willing, what's just one thing like Nehemiah did, like you're willing to execute? And execution is the only variable, my friends. The only variable. But if you're in business, also if you want to grow in corporate and be a big deal, I'll recommend you go and read a book called Execution. It's by Ram Charam and Larry Bossidy. It's a very, very great book. But if you're in business and you want to move boundaries, Stewardship, Counsel on Stewardship is a very good book. Start with that first and the Bible. The other human wisdom you can always add in. I read a couple of them, not so much. But I love, when you labor with God, there's some wisdom that come into your life that is very, very ennobling. And so, guys, who would like to share? I can start with mine, okay? And I'll open the floor. If there's one thing I want to do, okay? There's one thing I truly want to do. I said it earlier, and I can repeat it. I want God to use me to allow me make great wealth, bring more people with me, that we can build more businesses across the Adventist community. Not so that you come and buy from us, but we can build business for the world. And then we can power the gospel. Let me tell you something, friends. I've seen it in my church, I've seen it in my own personal life. Many a times when we lead in departments, we'll end up spending our own money a lot. Do it with a cheerful heart. God always restores that. Let me give you a testimony. There was a time, University of Eldoret had asked me to speak to them last year. I sat down and I looked, my week was so busy. Another time I was building my new store at Sarit and I couldn't be unavailable. I couldn't take a bus because they couldn't pay for my transport to Eldoret. The university students. I went online and checked the flights to Eldoret and I could tell what it will cost. I told God, you know what? I'm going to pay for this flight out of my business cash flow. I can surprise you, friends. Within 1 hour, a customer came and paid back the same amount I'd paid for the flight. It's okay not to say amen. It's okay. It's okay. But all I'm trying to say is be available to be of service to God. The beauty about me, unlike other speakers, I don't depend on amen to speak more, but is that in my own way. One day I'll come and tell you stories how we moved billions from Africa to Europe. Those days are coming. But today I still have my testimonies at where I am. That I needed to pay a flight to Eldoret to go and speak to University of Eldoret. And within 1 hour of paying that, because I told God, I'm paying this because you've asked me to go and speak to them. Within 1 hour, this guy just comes. I want this. We sell chessboards. I want this chessboard, And the guy was not even thinking about the price. How much is it? I was like, yeah, see the price. I just see the price. Dude just paid. Say, park for me, I'm coming. Dude has never come back again. Okay? So something like God works. Okay? How I got my first space at Sarit, it's a whole testimony. Maybe let me give you. We may not meet on earth again. Because, we may die anytime. I remember. So if you've been to Sarit, it's called LC Waikiki. So guys, I suffered, by the way. So I opened Karen when I started my business, okay? No customers came. I used to be at my business from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. How many hours? 12 solid hours. Being an entrepreneur is hard to find a wife. What time will you socialize? So 8 to 8. People see when you work hard, by the way. In 2 months, I couldn't pay the rent because customers were not coming there. I told my landlord, I really respect you, my friend. You've been kind to me. but I don't want us to go to court because I cannot afford to pay you going forward. The dude just told me, I have no cousin, no nephew who works hard like you. Because you work hard, I'll cut your rent by 20,000. Okay? So guys, people see, even your landlord sees. When you're suffering and come and tell him, you know what, I'm suffering, I can't pay, and I don't want to go to court with you. Because it was a commercial agreement, you know, and so because I couldn't turn around cash there, I started going to malls like Village Market and started to sell our things. Bro, guys, I started from the floors of Sarit. I started from selling, God, it's so, like sometimes I look how God has blessed me, sometimes I'm like, yo, I used to, outside, like I used to put up my stand and sell my things there. Long story short, one evening like this, it was raining, it's not raining right now, and then some Chinese customers were just idling in the mall because, I mean, when it rains, people don't want to move out. And me, as I'm telling you, I love the story of Joseph because I've lived it. And this is how I've lived it, as you write, because you guys are going to tell me your stories. What happened was very interesting. These guys were just loitering, so I said to keep them company, you know, just to be a good person. Be kind to people even when you can't talk. Interest them to talk to them. So these Chinese people were around me and like, hi, how are you? They were around, we became friends. And they told me, we are Chinese investors from China and we are looking to invest in Nairobi. I told them, you know what? Number one, get a good accountant. And number two, get a good lawyer. Because these two people in Kenya can steal from you. And you will go back zero. I've seen that happen. And so they're like, because, I mean, I just like, you know, get a good lawyer and a good accountant if you want to invest in Kenya. And so they say, let's take your number. I mean, I was a normal trader, guys. I mean, I had nothing important for someone to ask for my number. I'm just selling wares. And so we started meeting every 2 days. They will ask, hey, can we have tea? So I used to ask them to meet at a particular place in Lavington. We used to meet there. And so I think after a week, so they said to introduce him to my networks. I'm telling you, it's good to be relating with people. So like, we want to invest in Kilimall. At someone at Kilimall. Hey, set up a meeting for these Chinese investors. I'll send them there. Hey, can we go to Jumia? A friend of mine who used to work at HR at Jumia was like, you know what? Go, you know, create a meeting for these guys so they will go. So finally they tell me, we want a space at Sarit. I was like, Okay, before that, I was like, they wanted to set up a business place. Before that thought, just hold on a bit. Let's go back. They wanted to set up a business. So what they do, they take your living room and turn it into a theater. Okay? So they wanted to introduce that to Kenya. Like, take your living room in your home and turn it into a theater. I was like, this is good. Fine. So I was like, where can we set up a business? I'm like, by the way, let me tell you, throughout this process, I told God one thing. I want to be a Joseph to them. They have the money and the resources. I just wanted to be a Joseph to them. Anytime they'll give me money to pay for taxi or Uber, I'll give them change. Because I had the time. My business in Karen was not making any money. So going there was nothing, you know. So I'll go to Sarit on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So between Monday and Wednesday, I was pretty available because that place wasn't selling anything. I told them, don't make a mistake like me. Don't open a business outside a mall. A mall is expensive, but it gives you a lot of things, credibility, footfall, many other business variables to it. It gives you brand equity and all that. So tell them, come to this mall, kind of get a space, and don't be like me. I've made a mistake already. And so they tell me, then introduce us to the mall. I told them, I don't know the mall owners. Me, I just come and sell my things here. I only pay some fee. And then they were like, you know. So I went to the customer care, asked for an email, how to get a space. I took their card, asked for their company profile. I just wrote on the email, I'm representing a Chinese business. They're interested to have a space in this mall. Could we have a meeting? Here's their company profile. But the guys, I'm poor at writing. That's why I don't come with many things. I'm not a good writer. And they asked me, can we have a meeting? So the CFO picks up the email, asks for a meeting. That's how God works. And then the CFO was very happy about these Chinese guys. He said, let me talk to the CEO of the mall. We'll meet you guys. This guy said, how long will it take? He said, 1 week. So we booked a meeting for Friday. It's Friday. These guys say, no, let's go to Masai Mara. I was like, okay, guys, go well to China. Go well to the Mara. I didn't have income. I was very poor, guys, at that time. I remember at that time, I used to serve in my church. I used to be the deacon who runs around because I never had tithe. Okay? I will run around, fix seats, do everything. Guys, me, I just, I don't have anything to bring to the storehouse. And stewardship has time, stewardship has money. So when guys are doing fundraisers there, I have nothing, you know. So the only thing I had was to make sure guys are comfortable and fine, guys are seated, kids don't fall off the, you know, anyway. So this one week, these guys go. So I follow up, so they said, so I told the guys, you know what, I hope you come in good time because the meeting has been set with the CEO of the mall. And so we go there on the day of the meeting of the CEO. So I picked these guys. They were living somewhere in Kilimani. Those guys, the night before they had gone to the casino, they had really drank a lot. And, you know, me, I told you, me, I had one prayer with God. I was like, me, I want to be a Joseph to these guys. Like, these guys have everything. Me, I just want to be a Joseph. So we go to the mall. The meeting is set. We are getting in there. But all the way from Kilimani to Westland, in the car, these guys can't talk anything important. I was so concerned. Look, I'm the one who's selling these people, and now these guys are drunk. So we get to the mall, we get to the meeting, we get in. The CEO is very sharp. Numbers, details, questions, these guys can't answer anything. I just told God, you know what? God, I can't answer on behalf of these guys. They are drunk. I mean, guys, also sometimes don't overpray too much. If guys are drunk and don't speak, they can't speak. You know? So I just start in the meeting and I was like, okay, fine. Whatever happens will happen, you know? This CEO so pissed at these Chinese guys. He asked me, young man, what do you do? I told him, oh yeah, I have a great business. I do soapstone from Kisii. And actually, as we speak, I have a space at your mall outside LC Waikiki. My things are there. I just came for this meeting. Like, can we go and see them? He closes his laptop. The meeting was over with those Chinese guys. We leave down the stairs. We go to where my stand was. And he sees the things. We speak for 20 minutes. And then he tells me, the email you've been writing, just say, I have met you. So that was like Friday. On Sabbath, I'm in church. After the lesson, I think when I was teaching the lesson, I see a text like, hey, can we meet you on Monday? I said, Monday, 3 p.m. is good. I'll show up. I come at 3 p.m. They open where our business is right now. They opened the business. It was closed. You know, so it was like a gray box, just like how this place looks like. So they opened the room and told me, this is your space. Just tell us if you can pay. I just told them I can pay. Bro, I didn't have money. I just said I can pay. Okay? I can pay for this space. Thank you so much. The PA of the CEO came and told me, young man, what's happening in your life? We are the people who approve who comes to the mall. We just give the CEO to approve which retailers. We have a list of many, many people who want to have a space at Sarit. So whatever's happened to your life, go ahead. And that's the last day this Chinese guy spoke to me, till today. You can imagine you were friends for 2 weeks. I didn't know that God was using them all the way for me to getting a space at the mall, because I can tell you for sure, if I'd gone to ask for a space at the mall, they would have never given me. So anyway, all I'm trying to tell you is, I had my wilderness experience. Right now, God He's blessing us and we are growing and all that. But don't forget the days that you are humble. Don't forget the days of your suffering. May those days make you humble and love God and serve Him more. So sometimes when I see deacons running around, I remember I had 20 shillings in my pocket and that's all I had. The only thing I had was to serve members in church and serve them well. Anyway, guys, you can tell us what you've written in your... Who's open to telling us what they want to do? You know, what they want to work with God, what they want to partner with God, you know. Ama, you want to bring it for prayer and fasting Sabbath, you dedicate it to God like I did and keep quiet. Yeah? So who's open to sharing with us? They don't have to be grand, big things, but they can be big because God's faith moves mountains. Who wants to read for someone else? Yeah? But I've noticed one thing about you guys, you love stories. Because anytime I tell a story, you guys are very attentive. When I get to the principles of getting things done, you guys are quiet. Yeah? You guys like stories, huh? But it's okay. Stories are one of the best ways to teach. Because Christ used the parables as a way to win the masses. So without stories, you can hardly break into an audience. Yo, you've been recording these things. I hope it's not online. Okay, now that elder will know that. It's okay.
Good evening. How are you? My friends here have been pointing at me to open the floor. So I'm here to give you confidence. The speaker began by saying people who get done. I think I'm one of them. So let me move closer here. Once again, good evening. My name is Mark Finley. Actually, I'm introducing myself to him, not to you. You know me already. When you asked us to write about what we want to do, I didn't write anything. Why? Because everything I want to do is right here. And every day, there's a day we had a meeting with my president. But then I'm a CMO. I'm also a finance student, working with, I'm also a global entrepreneur. So that's why these guys were pointing at me and they're like, talk on our behalf. So we had a meeting with our president and she inspired me. She told me, Finley, because you've shared with me your dream, I also want to share with you my dream. And then she opens a very fancy book. I went through it. And then what I saw is she wants to own an airline. From that day, I moved straight to Textbook Center, got myself what we call a dream book. There's a difference between a diary and a dream book. So I got myself a dream book and noted every dream I have. So when you asked us to write, I didn't write because I had written. But now let me share with you something briefly about the dreams. 2 weeks ago, there was a conversation here in church about helping the poor, helping the needy. And my brother was right here. And after that conversation, this is what I told him. I told him, bro, this is what we're going to do. Moving forward, 1% of our income will be channeled towards an endowment fund. So this income should grow to an extent we'll be able to open up a facility that is able to take care of people in the prison, people in the hospital, and even one day establish a hospital. And this was the math. If you have a calculator, you can do the math. The math was, if you are currently earning 1,000 shillings, 1% of 1,000 shillings is how much? How much? 10 shillings. God blesses you to an extent you're now earning 20,000. 1% of 20,000 is how much? How much? 200. Then God blesses you to an extent you're earning 500,000. How much is that? 70,000. How much? 5,000. And then I told bro, if this is the trend, and we are dedicating this one to help people who are less fortunate, do you see this is an avenue that God is going to bless us? And I told him, in a record of 10, 12 years, the minimum you need to make is 4 million. Take 1% of 4 million. It's how much? How much? A toil. You are our mathematician. Huh? 40,000. So imagine 40,000 going to help somebody somewhere. So if you asked about what I want to do, is to one day help the less fortunate using our stream of income, myself and my brothers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's my desire that God will bless you, that will come to fruition. Big dreams are born. Execution is a variable. Execute so well that you do it. Any other from the congregation? Oh yeah, welcome.
Happy Sabbath
Happy day.
and happy day.
Happy Sabbath.
My name is Teddy. I feel so nervous. It's not easy speaking before people. But yeah, what I wrote in my book is that, one, I come from a place called Asembo. It's in Siaya County. It's a place where many people are poor. So what I wrote is that one day I want to open a resource center, and this resource center should have a high school and a sports facility, a high school, so that the many children that finish their primary schools and are not able to continue with their education can get their education there free of charge. I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't even know between now and that part. I don't know what exactly will make me get there. I don't even have something so tangible in life right now, but that is exactly what I want God to bless me with. There was a time at work I was talking with one of the managers, and she was like, I want to say this, but I hope it doesn't offend you. People from your region like to brag a lot, but in real sense, you people really do not have money. Most of you people are poor. And apparently, as she was saying that is actually true for me. And for the place I come from, that was actually so accurate. It saddened me. So I said, if I ever get the chance to serve this humanity, what I really want to do is put up a school that people can get transformed. We have schools here, but the quality of education is so low. About 2 years ago, I lost my father. Some of you here came all the way and helped me send him off. I still remember that, Tracy. So after that, I brought my young brother with me to Nairobi. He was with me here in the morning. So he used to study in the village. And when he came here, I put him in a private school, and he was so frustrated. He went to school and people were speaking English the whole day. He didn't get a single thing. He came back home. He cried almost until midnight. He said he's not going back to that school again. So you can imagine the quality of education back in my village. As Teddy right now, I'm only able to pay school fees for that one person. What if I'd bring all the resources and the expertise of good educators from, say, Nairobi or any other good place and take it back to Asembo? Can you imagine the transformation my village will have? And the many people who are not able to carry on with their education because of poverty, how many people will be transformed? Yeah? So I am praying that somewhat God will help me deliver this. I personally went to a high school where I was sponsored and my education was fully paid for, and that helped me. But that is just me, one person from Asembo to the school is in Nanyuki. Most of these resources don't come to my area. So putting up the school again, I believe, is going to transform the lives of many people, eradicate the poverty, and have many people, have many educated people, and also eradicate the level of backwardness and people believing in witchcraft. Even the few people who are able to go out of my village, get a few resources, and scared of going back and building because watarogo. So I think education is the only solution. If we can have so many people educated beyond primary school, then we can have a better mindset. So this school, someday, I really want God to work it out through me. Thank you.
Wow, what's your name? Teddy. Oh, Teddy, I really wish you well. Teddy, I'll just let you know one thing before you start, is that God, friends, when you're doing anything with God, my experience, it may die today. I usually tell God, you search my heart in its deepest that I myself can search my heart. If you allow God to search your heart in its deepest and do that which He desires in the deepest that you yourself cannot even imagine, it's possible. That's now the spiritual side. On the flip side, in the real day-to-day life, beloved, women have so much money out here. Just say, I am a woman, I want to do this. I am a woman, I want to do this. Hey, I went to, so I was told, oh, whatever you're doing is social enterprise. Go to these foundations and, and pitch. So I showed up at Stanbic Foundation. You know what they told me? Sijui, we have funds from GIZ and Gates Foundation. They're all strictly towards women. I left there with my God. And I vowed to the heavens, God, you will provide for us. All I'm trying to say is that, God will do it. Also, there's so much money out here for women. Women's doing what? Women, it's plenty. I pray that you get that, we get partners who will fund that. Today is just say, I'm a woman, I'm doing X and X. Hey, everything is towards, there are many reasons to it. If you got a bit spiritual about it, is that when you kill the man, you kill him economically. When you kill a man economically, you break society. When you break society, you have no morals. When you have no morals because when you kill a man, there's no priesthood. So I also feel it's also drawn from a very, I would like to believe without a doubt. I can debate it. It's the best. Ladies, you're living in, I don't know what I can say. You're living in the dreamland, the American dream. Everyone nowadays is funding women. To the men like me, God and competence, that's all we have. And that's all we have, just God and competence. The outside world here doesn't care about you. I've experienced it myself head on. I was told we have GIZ money, Gates Foundation money. It's purely for women. I stepped out. I've never called those guys in Stanbic Foundation again. But it's okay. I respect that their money is only for women, and we don't fight our women. We love our women. Go get all the money, build our communities, support them. To the men here, I'm one of you. I feel it. I know it. Just have God and be competent. Just go execute whatever you have. Yeah. It's true. It's unfortunately true. Unfortunately true. You'll have many breakfasts. Women in tech, women in. Ever had young men breakfast? Investors? Yeah. There's none. There's none. You just have each other and we have God. But also, ladies, let me just plead with you. Ladies, I just want to ask you. Also, with all the money that comes to your hands, determine whether you want to be a godly woman who can be led by a man. I surrender. Yeah, just determine. And if you don't determine that you can't be led by a man, just come and lead our Dorcas in church. AWM is very strong. It will welcome your doors. Just be there. Please don't accept us if you can't be led. I'm speaking on behalf of these men here. Opportunity is at your doorstep. All the money is let me tell you what's the unfortunate thing about corporate America and corporate nowadays is that if there's a man and a woman in an opportunity, it will easily go to the woman. Okay? And so I want to ask of you, when God has blessed you, use your resources to grow your family. You can be led even when you have more money. Okay? Sorry, I didn't intend to do family life. That was not my calling here. that, it's because, let's be very real. Most of our ladies nowadays have more income and they tend to grow much faster in career, okay, than actually the man does. And so the man has to do more. So if it's 8 hours, the man has to go an extra mile, has to be more daring, has to be more believing, and has to have God. But then let me tell you guys, the world out here is, God owns everything, but the devil operates in a big way. So man, if you don't have God, it's very hard for you. I live out here every day. But God is with us. He'll ensure that priesthood still remains to be our responsibility. Yeah. Any other thoughts as we wrap up? Anyone who wants to share their bold dreams they want to do? Oh, welcome. Oh, you want to speak from there? But men, rise up and speak. So come.
Happy Sabbath. Happy day. I have a question. What can you say about venturing into different different activities at this age, which can bring income? Like, you want to venture into so much, and it's kind of making you like lose balance in some of a few. So how can you handle that?
Can I answer while you're here? Or you want to sit? Okay. I say this with a lot of regret. No, I don't regret, sorry. I say this with a lot of heartache. There's a problem in this city. And that's why I feel the West beat us easy than us. We are a jack of many trades. And it is glorified in Nairobi. You have work, you have a side business, you are doing this business, you're into another business. I finished university, I set up a marketing agency. I was still doing supplies. And I remember I lost so much money in supplies so I make money from the marketing agency. You sit at Migori Water, okay, it's a true story, but now this thing, guys are listening. So you sit at Migori Water, you give me business, okay? You are fired as a CEO. And I didn't get paid when you are in office. So my money gets lost there because the other MD will come angry. You know how guys operate. Any supplier of the previous CEO, we don't deal and we don't pay. Okay? So you see, so I've already lost. So one is generating revenue because of our culture of, we always have to be, someone is in supplies, we're trying to do, So we lose much more. So the thing is this, the guy for example the guy in the marketing agency business, who is purely focused at it, doing something called, I wish we had more time, there's something called 10,000 hours. He's doing proper 10,000 hours. He's crafting, he's mastering his thing so well that he will beat you at that game, okay? You've come to do supplies of another crook guy who's been in the same game 10 years' time. He's mastered everything, and you still want to beat that guy there. After that supplies thing, you're doing fish business with another Jama over there, okay? This is my understanding. Build one thing. Be so good at it. Be known to be a master in a particular field. Harness that field so well. Let me tell you one thing. The more I've been in this business, the more my knowledge has increased. The more I have built more networks. The more I've earned more credibility. The more I've earned more respect. The more I have more contacts coming my way. The more I'm now, God willing, this year, next year, I'll be a thought leader. Okay, in the soapstone industry. The thing is I want to be so good at soapstone industry that I make it so well that now you can call me to be in boards. Okay, that's now my future. I want to be in boards and lead big businesses. But I have to show a trajectory. I build this industry from this to this. Now I can go to a boardroom and say, this sculptor was earning 5,000, now he's doing 150K a month. Okay? All right? So I have track record. The beauty about once you put hours and hours into one thing, you become incredibly good. And the other thing is this, you become smarter. And then the thing is this, the quantum of that, the more you work with God, you become more wiser. the more you become more wiser and read more. I even had to go back to school. I hated school. I'm doing a program for business owners. It's not academia, at Strathmore. And I'm learning how to scale the business now, okay? So the thing is this, in the next 2 years, I will beat everyone. Okay, I know I will because I've God as well. I'm not saying this just because. I will definitely beat everyone. So the thing is this, when you focus on a particular, be known for one thing. So the thing is, go and look at all these things you're doing. Which one has an upside? Okay, fine. Which one has a white space? It's very important. White space means which one has a higher opportunity variable that I can, in that journey, I can make the competition irrelevant. Okay? So look at the opportunities you have. Which one can you make competition irrelevant? Also look at which one you have the capacity to stay for the long haul. Because money rewards those who stay longer. That's one thing, as I'm telling you, the things I find very skewed about financial knowledge. Money rewards the guys who stay for the long haul. All right? Because it quantums and builds more and builds more. And so determine. So just, I'll tell you, don't be like me. Pick one, stay the course, stay in the game. And stay long haul. The results will come. You'll not see it in the first year. And by the way, I remember in my first year when I opened Soapstone, I met a beautiful lady in a wedding. I told her, I've gotten into a business and I'm willing to suffer. If you want to suffer with me, let's date. And if you can't suffer with me, please, don't accept. Because I hope I answer your question, you can proceed.
Yeah, I'm asking this from a point where we've seen different people venturing into, like you hear this person has this and this business, and they are totally maybe related in one way or unrelated at all.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Now I get your context. So look at this. So let me use myself. I usually don't like using other people's example. So see, I'm building right now, okay? I'm going to get to a level, I'll be buying other businesses. So you can only do that when you build skill in one. Let me not lie to you. Maybe I don't know about you. You may be coming from wealth. I didn't come from wealth, okay? So for me, I'm building every coin by the day. So I make a coin, I'm reinvesting back, okay? But if you come from wealth and your dad can open for you an apartment, can give you money into matatu industry, so be it, go run. I would love to do that. If I had 100 million in my hands right now, I'll be in 3-4 different industries, because I also believe I can work like Richard Branson. I can have 10 companies at the same time. Okay, so I can give each hour, build scale, build people, build relationships. I mean, that's a whole conversation. But if you can do that and you have the resources, go ye therefore and conquer. All right, don't stay back. But most people, you hear them do that, it comes from a place of, one, abundance. You don't know where they're getting their money from. Some come from wealthier homes. Some stories are very sad but true. Maybe the husband or someone in their life died. They worked for corporate America. The funds they received was $2 million. $2 million, that's 200 million. That guy has liquidity to get into most businesses, okay? So you don't know where they're getting their money from. But if you're starting, build one. But if you have more money and resources, go wide. But when you go wide, also, the other thing I've learned, invest in information, okay? Also read Business Daily a lot. Understand industries more. I've seen why. So you find multinationals will come into Kenya and they'll invest a lot in research because they don't want to make mistakes. So if you can have the data to prove and back up your investment, then so be it. But do it when you have a lot of money to risk. I hope I answered your question. Yeah, but those people, you see them doing many things, you don't know where their money coming from. But you have the money, bro, go wide. Go big and just run. I really love business conversations. Any other question? I really love them. You guys have an 8 p.m., by the way, but it's an online one. I can handle it from wherever I am.
Okay, my question is, what are some of the mistakes that entrepreneurs make when they're starting their businesses? And then the second question is...
Can I answer one? My brain is not very good. Not in a bad way, guys. You need to understand yourself. One of the mistakes entrepreneurs make, they go and think it's easy. It's a hard game. Well, maybe right now, that's what I'm telling you. I took a long time not speaking to anyone about what I do because I needed to build the discipline of getting things done. What most entrepreneurs make is that, okay, I've seen it. There are people who build business for lifestyle, to pay my rent, to afford, to look good and fine, it's okay. Some of us build for the long haul, so we spend less in luxury. And so the things I don't buy, not because I can't afford. I can afford it right now, but it's because I'm building for the long term. So most entrepreneurs in Kenya are not building for the long haul. Actually, the reason why I'm really working hard is because I'm seeing an upside. Most of the people coming after me are very weak. You know? Okay, fine. These guys are recording everything. You know, keep making money. You get? So like these are a whole generation of entrepreneurs who can't build. They're very theoretical about it. They don't have what it takes like to really stay in the game and put your head down and be patient. Most people are not. That's why you find a business started and died, started and died. There's a big thing about patience. The capacity not to eat money, but to stay, you keep your lifestyle still low and build. Most people, when the money comes, also their lifestyle goes up. So they have a high cash burn rate in their life. I think that's that's what I've observed. The rest are theoretical, I don't know.
Okay, speaking of patience, between strategy and speed, which one is more important when starting a business?
Good question. Okay, let me respond to the two. Strategy is good. Absolutely. I used to hate it, but I've come to find it very important. I think when you want to scale, strategy becomes very important. But strategy should be flexible. Okay? If the market is changing, rethink it. If the economy is moving in a different direction, rethink strategy. So the old days of this is the way to go, we can't change our minds, we have to, I don't think so. But there's a difference. There are entrepreneurs like me who are very delusional. Like the thing I believe in, it's so much that no one can see, but only me can see. I say that because sometimes when there's an upside that people haven't figured out, but I have figured out. So I'll be very delusional about it. It's different. It's not for everyone. So that's why you find that the stories you hear about the entrepreneurs from the West is that they were so delusional that no one really believed in it. It's true. When I started what I'm doing, guys were like, yo, you're well-schooled. How do you go to do stones from Kisii? Okay? Like I got it a lot. Like someone will come to my store and look like, why is MOGUSU here? But I understood them. I get where they're coming from. School taught us to look cool, get good jobs, look fine. It's great, it's fine. And I only wear suits on Sabbath because during the week I don't wear suits. Okay? But you see, so it's the flip side. All right? How people perceive things. But strategy is great. It's important. You will need it especially when you want to scale. When you're starting, speed is important. Let me tell you the things speed gives you. Speed gives you, sometimes guys call it luck. When you have speed, you have momentum. When you have momentum, guys, you've been on the road and someone just powers their V8 and the guy is flying. The beauty about that is when the guy is flying and builds momentum, they think faster and move faster. When someone moves faster, they get more information faster than you. They get more contacts, more networks faster than you. For example, in my business, we're obsessed about the customer. If I tell you we'll deliver on this day, we will deliver. Come hell or high water. And my teams at the workshop know that, all right? And if I don't, I have foresight. I can tell the customer, sorry, tomorrow you will not get what we're delivering for you. Okay, so speed is important. There are many customers who love speed, okay? Because speed is the variable in execution. So the faster you move, the better you are, and the smarter you become, and the more, like things just pile up for you in a good way. So the thing is this, when you have more speed, is that you attract some very incredible contacts, And the thing is this, I can tell you guys, people see. When you're really putting in work, guys see. I told you about my landlord. I didn't know. I was just putting in work. The guy could be, let me tell you a story. Before I left Karen, I struggled paying my rent. You know what the landlord started doing? He'll come and pick pieces in my store and discount it as rent. Okay? Because the guy could tell I'm working hard, but I'm not turning around money. But what he decided to do, he'll pick things and discount it as rent. So there's a rent, I think, was it March? I think he even called his friends. You know what? Nyaje is a wealthy Kikuyu guy. He used to call his friends, you know what? Come by Karen at this shop, buy things from there. Still today, still my friend, sometimes he calls me and orders from our business. So the thing is, speed is extremely important. Move fast. But also as much as possible, because you don't have data and you can't buy information like me, okay, pray more. So that you tell God, you know what? I'm waking up today. I need to get this done. If it's your will, make it possible. If not your will, God, I'll be very okay at the end of the day to come home and I didn't make it. So for me, it's faith.
Okay, and the last one. From what I got from you is that at the beginning, kinda, you incur loss before your business really pick up. So at what point did you saw it that this is worth it than letting it go?
Good question. It happened at Village Market. So I couldn't make money in Karen, so I started going to malls. So I was suffering, my friend. I was suffering, real suffering. So I woke up even to run in the morning, okay? Sometimes running, endurance builds something. You may not understand this. Sometimes go out and run if things are heavy on you. Go hit some metal somewhere in a gym. You'll be sane. Sometimes I needed sanity. I woke up in the morning to run. When I was running down Lavington Mall, I saw a billboard saying Art in the Open at Village Market. I had not carried my phone. I stood there and crammed that number. Like literally, crammed that number. When I went to my house, I literally called them. Told them, I've seen Art in the Open. I want to come and participate. How much is it? They told me, Suji, it was what? I don't remember. I told them, I don't have the full amount right now, but I'm sending you 2,000 shillings. I'll look for the balance, okay? And before the event, I will send. I didn't have the balance. I didn't pay the balance. I showed up on that day with my pieces at Village Market. I can't say how much I sold. So God was very gracious to me. By 11, 12, I paid the balance. Yeah, I remember it's about 12K. Because it was 10K plus VT, whatever. I forgot it. So I had paid 2,000. By the time I set up everything, by 11 a.m. I'd already sold. So I paid the mall what they had asked me to pay. That's about 10,000. Yeah. So you see how a guy is suffering proper, okay? So God works in miraculous ways. There's a guy who works in the mall who saw me. That was God. This guy came and told me, my boss will come and want to buy you out. Okay? And so, be wary, they will come. So I continued selling. I was having a field day. God bless me. Remember, I had debt in Karen. I'm not making money in Karen. In that period, my house was closed. A friend of mine had to pay for my rent. That guy, he married in August. I did everything for his wedding. You could not disrupt that wedding. I stood by his side. Anyway, so I'm at Village Market. I'm selling. So finally, these people come. Okay? This lady is the owner in Village Market, it's still called Calabash. Okay? So this guy that proves it. What I will tell you is this: if you really want to build a business, don't depend on these guys to buy your things. Let the market determine. Because one thing I see, I mean, it's okay, guys. If you want to come to my business and buy things, karibu. Like, I mean it with humility. But if you want to know whether your product or your service will make it, let the market determine. Sometimes we have a launch of our business, our church members come and buy, we think we're in business. Okay? Those guys were buying to support you to start. Okay? That was funny. You know, like those guys were just buying for you to start. You know, I think, Elder, you got me. Me talking about money and those things, I find them, you know, talking about real business things, so for me, after that day, I knew whatever it takes, you're not going to buy me out. Actually, it even made my dreams bolder. That's what I'm saying. The more you have speed, you turn around and you become better. So I said, you know one thing? I want to now own the industry. I pray that I own the industry one day. It will be great. God is listening to me. And I know he knows the deepest part of my heart. And so that's my desire, to own the industry. And so the thing is this. God is so good. When I got a space inside it, this owner of Village Market, they found me. They found in the industry. So right now we fight for space in some places, in the big hotels, we fight for space because you see they can't believe I've moved this fast. So like right now, so like for JW Marriott when they opened, the people, God works in incredible ways. So they were launching and so the president was coming. So they said in these tables of ours where the kingship will be sitting, we want to put African pieces. What do they think about? They think about soapstone. They come to Saudi and buy from our shop. Okay? I didn't know they were from JW Marriott. And so because I served them so well, that's the thing, guys, be so good. Love people. Like, love the way Christ just loved everyone. They come back to me and tell me, there's a space, we'd like you to list you as one of the people who, sell the things at JW. And I welcomed it, So the moment those guys saw, and I think a letter from a proposal from our side to JW Marriott, they literally closed us off. And it's fine, it's a matter of time. They will win today, but they will win the battle, but we will win the war by God's grace. You guys, will you go home?
I have a food for thought. It's not really a question, but because this discussion was based on entrepreneurship, investment, and debt, there's something we are going to leave out that I want to be so happy about. Guest speaker has really been big on entrepreneurship, and you'll all agree with me that not everybody is good at entrepreneurship, right? What about people who are just employed? What are they supposed to do to get more money? So it was not a question. I have a food for thought. I'm not done yet. That brings me to investment. I've been doing research for a very long time, and this is what I discovered. It's a food for thought. It's not something I want to exhaust right now. What I discovered is, as we plan to invest in our country, Kenya, the different investments options that are there. The stocks, the bonds, the bills and stuff. Could you just shift your mind a little bit and get outside Kenya and think about investing in the global network? And this is what I'm going to tell you. In my research, this is what I discovered. AI holds a very good percentage of the economy. Currently, global GDP is around 113 trillion US dollars. In the next 80 years, AI alone will have a market cap of 7 to 8 trillion. I've paused for a purpose so that you take it in. What am I talking about? AI is so big. We talk about autonomous driving that is built by Tesla, the self-drive vehicles, and we'll move from that one, we'll be going to, eVTOL, these jets that land and take off vertically when we have the roads totally filled. So when you look at all these, and even in terms of in the health sector, we have CRISPR therapeutics. All these inventions are coming up, and we'll have a market cap of 7 to 8 trillion. Tesla stocks today go for 270 USD. That's around 35,000. So 2 weeks ago, I bought Tesla stocks. And this is the calculation. In the next 10, 15 years, the same stock that is sold at 270 will be sold at 2,600, meaning it will be moving to around 331,000 Kenya shillings. So if you're not really entrepreneurially minded and you are having this employee mindset, could you shift your mind to start thinking about your financial freedom and start thinking of investing beyond Kenya? And that is just an example. So, this discussion was for entrepreneurship. It's also important for you to note that investment is so big. And if you're looking forward to financial freedom, you're going to start today. So the moment I did my research, I didn't wait until, let me wait for money. No. I did my research, determined that this is what should be done, did it immediately. So we are talking about the next 15 years. If you start it today, we'll be talking a different story. Thank you. It was a food for thought. Think about it.
Thank you, Zimmerman Warren Buffett. Guys, honestly, to those who, as I said earlier, to those when it comes to money, you're not very entrepreneurial, it's okay. Okay? There are many options for you out here, and that's one of them. I think also to close it up, because I can see some of you want to leave, and I wouldn't want more questions to keep you here because I've been there. When it comes to work, maybe I didn't give you when I was in fourth year, that's what I'm telling you, I'm not this hybrid entrepreneurs. I went to an event, I think in Westlands, and so I was told to pitch. I think at Blaze we also pitched at some point. I think for Blaze I lost it because I didn't have the physical product with me, but forget about that. And so these investors told me, you know what, you're very great, go get some work experience. I took it seriously. I was in fourth year at that time. I was finishing my last project. I went to an event. The good thing I was the chair of marketing, so there was a dinner for masters and PhD students, so I was invited. I said something. One guy took an eye on me in the audience. He asked me to go and work in his farm. At that time, I needed to work to build some experience. And that's why I told you earlier, one of the things that you don't get when you start early as an entrepreneur, you don't get the trainings that guys who go for big multinationals get. And so I worked in his farm for between July to December. Is it May to December? I was so good, guys. And I say this with humility because I believe in execution. Just get things done. Don't talk too much. Because the problem about corporate is the guys talk too much. I mean, not in a bad way. Guys have too much corporate PR. Very good English. Not in a bad way. I mean, we respect them for that. I ask my friends in not-for-profit, my guys in not-for-profit, they usually tell me, MOGUSU, speak a big English because we need to please our funders to bring more money in. I mean, all of them do it for different reasons. I moved from being an intern in the first month. See, an intern is 3 months or 4 or 5. I moved from being an intern to being a project manager in less than 4 months. I was an intern. I think the guys ahead of me were scared. The boss will go for meetings and hope that I will show up because I was never copied in emails, because I was very good. And so the guys above me were scared. I will take up their projects. And so one day he comes to the office and tells me, why don't you come for meetings? I tell him, I don't get copied on emails for those meetings. So what he decided to do, he decided to give me my own independent project. I was so good at it that he will never go to any meeting without me. And look, I was still in university, okay? So all I'm just trying to say for corporate, reduce the English, get the work done. Competence will move you across the ladder. All my friends in church who have very big jobs are very good at what they do because they're very competent. So for me, usually for work is simple. Put your head down. With God, you will even beat work politics. I have some of my very good, humble elders in my church, and they're so blessed in very big jobs, and they don't fight. They're very humble. You know, God gave us different personalities. They're very quiet guys, you know, but they do. I remember there's this lady, she's the head of IOM. IOM is an agency of the UN for International Organization of Migration. She was our church member, but she moved to Nigeria. We just bumped into each other the other day. And she's very quiet, like very quiet. You know, and I asked her, I said, okay, fine, do you have some moments? So we ended up talking about her work. You know, and she told me, for me, it's God and my work. All right? So it's still the same concept. You know, and I asked her, what was the one thing you did at your workplace that made you really great? She told me during COVID, because you see, UN has UNEP, it has UN Agency for Refugees, it has the migration, it has UNDP, and she was leading IOM. And she told me during COVID, all the UN agencies in the world were cutting down stuff. She told God, I'm not going to cut down stuff. I want you to work with me that we keep these livelihoods of these people at work. And what's interesting is that she went and cut down on projects that needed to spend much more money in order to pay her staff. God redeemed her because all other UN agencies were cutting jobs. And so she got some backed up facility from some organization to sustain the staff. It's okay, don't worry if the water is pouring. You know, she got so much money to support the staff, you know, and that became her killer story. And right now she is so undisputed at her work. So all I can say is the same metric. Just get things done. When people are choosing a different path, choose the high road. And with God, things will be really, really great. So about work, guys, just go put in the work. And also let me tell you, my friends, those guys who are at work, I will say this. I know this is opposite of my friend. At your earlier days of work, invest more in yourself to become so big at your industry. Why I'm saying so, I see some of my friends, they have good jobs. They invest in online masters of University of London just from here because they can't fly and go and do programs over there. Amir will request of you, invest more into your personal education. The big job will come. You'll be doing 700K, 1.2 to 3 million. Then you'll start buying stocks. It's okay. But right now, I'll tell you, don't buy those things. Invest in yourself. Go get more information. Go for executive trainings. Get more backed up. Quantum your experience by more information. Be so knowledgeable that you can move the industry you're working in. For me, I'll be like, right now, be so quiet about what you want to invest in. Invest more into yourself that you're so good. Then the big job day will come. And when they come, then now you'll have a lot of liquidity to put your money into these various vehicles. With that, I would like to say, I thank God for this moment to speak to you. I pray that God was much more bigger than myself. I did as much as possible to share the word with you and also to share experiences where I've seen God more. And I pray that as we part ways today evening, that these words will be top and second will be you. So number one, forget the stories I've told you. Go with God. and with God you have everything, you have the Holy Spirit, you have the angels with you, you have the character with you, you have everything with you, then just be competent. Go get things done. Today the world is looking for people who can get things done. I have many friends in HR, and many friends ask me, hey, you know this HR, link me up. I can't link people with jobs because they can't get things done. Because the other things about referral today, you want to refer someone who you know if they get inside there, they will make you proud and not break your relationships with the people inside there. So you find even the reason why people don't get referred to jobs today is because guys can't get work done. So no one will refer you if you can't get work done. The reason why someone will be very confident in referring me because he knows as long as MOGUSU has gone inside there, I don't need to question anything. Because he has character, he has everything, he has God, and he's competent. So the thing is competence also builds confidence. That's why I said earlier, if you are at work right now, spend much more money in being competent. So whatever income you're earning, spend much more money in being competent. Be so exceptional. So whatever, and the other thing is this as well. Guys, I'll say this, and may God grant you great mentors. I've had to change my mentors 2 times or 3 times. May God connect you with guys who will talk to you and you avoid mistakes in your industry so that you're able to move with more speed and more efficiency up the ladder. So with that, I can talk forever, but I really appreciate you. It's great to meet you guys. God bless you, and let's rise up with a word of prayer. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we're just so grateful that this evening we spend with you. Thank you for what you've done in my life so far that I was able to share with them. This was purely, Lord, to testify of your goodness and to share that which you've allowed me to know. I pray, Lord, that may Christ above all be lifted in their lives, that you'll come first, just like Nehemiah, and will go out with boldness, with persistence, and strategy, and finish so well because we have you ahead of us at our back. I pray that they use these tools for their work, for their service in church, wherever life brings them. As I part ways, Father, go with me. Keep them through thine own name. For your glory is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Guys, thank you so much.